It's just gone lunchtime. This is All Angles here on eNCA. Good afternoon. I'm Masego Ratlaga. It is the time of the day when we give you an update on how far some of the stories we've been following for you on Channel today have advanced. Here's your lunchtime update. All right, our reporters are out and about, bringing you the latest on today's top stories. I am joined by Bafedile Moirani in Johannesburg. Heidi Jokos is in Sandton. Heidi, let me start with you. Of course, outside the venue where the BRICS summit is happening, there are a group of people who are protesting. I think it's actually down the road at a park there in Sandton, and they have many issues with regards to the different governments of the BRICS nations.
Yes, certainly, Maseko. I'm actually going to move out of shot and just give you a clearer indication. You can actually see Sandton City from where I am standing. We're at Innis Free Park here in Sandton, and just a couple of kilometers away, probably I would say about 3 to 4 kilometers away from where the current BRICS summit is taking place, you have a number of different people from different countries, from different groupings, from different organizations, really expressing their dissatisfaction with a number of issues, but somehow it all links back to the BRICS countries and the BRICS bloc, really trying to get the attention of leaders and heads of state to say something needs to be done. For example, the images we're currently showing you right now, this group is from West Africa. They have an issue with the rest of Nigeria, saying that their particular leader has been taken in and has been tortured, and they want that particular area of Nigeria to be freed. We've also seen people from Ukraine coming in. We've seen people from Bangladesh, Pakistan, and bringing it back home, we are seeing people from Marikana, really. The widows expressing their dissatisfaction with saying that there has been no justice for the families and loved ones who tragically lost their loved ones in that Marikana massacre. So there's a lot that's happened here. We do understand that the different groupings have been asked to disperse by 1 o'clock. This is why you're seeing it rather empty. But another important factor is the fact that they are not allowed to protest outside the Sandton Convention Centre where the BRICS summit is currently taking place, because there has been a red zone that has been declared in that area, so only accredited and officials and so forth are allowed in that particular area. So one would argue that those protesting here would say that their cries and concerns have fallen on deaf ears, because no officials have really come out to hear what people have to say here. But it seems as though this is the area where many are coming to express their dissatisfaction.
All right, let's also bring in Hloni Mtimkulu, who in fact is also joining us from the East Rand. But before we come to you, Hloni, let me go to Bafedile. Family and friends, of course, Bafedile, of Babita Deokaran are paying their tribute to her. This comes, of course, 24 hours after the 6 men who murdered her pleaded guilty to that crime. How are they feeling about the sentences at the moment, especially because the mastermind has still not been found?
Well, we're getting mixed emotions and reactions from the family and also those who have been in support, in particular the activists. And it's still a somber mood that's prevailing for them at this point in time, 2 years down the line following the murder, as today they are celebrating and commemorating her. So they are saying, really, they want to see justice prevailing at the ultimate, in particular, as you indicating that the mastermind, it has not been brought to book. And the court has indicated yesterday when they were handing down the judgment to say that at this point in time, it's so unfortunate that they do not have the answers as to what exactly transpired, where is the mastermind, and why did the mastermind do what he did. So we spoke to Outer earlier on, which was part of the prayer that was held at the crime scene in Winchester, just outside Babita Deokaran's house, where the incident happened. So they said that they really want to see justice prevailing. The only time they will be satisfied and be happy that justice has prevailed, it is when the mastermind is brought to book. Let's listen to Outer representative as to what he had to say to us earlier on, Masego.
This year we are meeting under different circumstances than last year. We do acknowledge and appreciate what transpired yesterday. However, we are accepting the developments with mixed emotions. One, we're happy that the guys are behind the bars now, have been sentenced, as you know, but us and the family are not happy because we don't know who the paymaster is until the people who paid the gunmen are exposed and also equally prosecuted. That will be justice for Babita.
All right, and Hloni, to you now. Policing and crime are a huge issue in our country, a thorn on our side, actually. And I guess that's why over 200 delegates are at the Pop Crew Policing Indaba to discuss ways to improve law enforcement in South Africa. Police Minister Bheki expected to speak, I understand. But what are they wanting to achieve exactly, or is this just another talk shop?
Yeah, Masoko. So the theme of this inaugural policing indaba that is run by the Police and Prisons Civil Union is called Building Ideal Policing and Corrections for the 21st Century. And that led into, right at the beginning, just a very devastating, disheartening, horrific breakdown of the state of policing and prisons in the country by the president of Pop Crew, you know, talking about how there are socioeconomic factors that are responsible for the high crime rates that we see, that, you know, it can no longer just be a government function. And so they are here trying to get all the stakeholders, as many stakeholders as possible, involved in the fight against crime, because they do acknowledge that the crime rate is very high. We know, of course, last week that the quarterly crime stats were released, and the murder rate equated to 68 murders a day, Masoko. So clearly there is a problem, and Pop Crew is acknowledging that they can't do it all on their own, and it needs to be a bigger picture or a bigger presentation that is held, or, you know, just bigger planning around what they do around this. Now, talking about that 68 murders a day, President Tebekulu did say that, you know, these crime stats, they acknowledge the crime stats, they obviously work around the crime stats, but it's not the police's job to be providing stats. The police should be providing, or should be sending people for safety and security, or should be securing safety and security rather, not providing stats. And so, you know, questions need to be asked about the crime stats and how reliable they are. But I think just for more on that, let us hear from the president of Pop Crew just about the reliability or not of the quarterly crime stats.
These figures are not aligned with the realities facing our members and communities, and the situation may be even worse than indicated. There are several serious underlying issues and flaws in the data collection methodology that must be addressed, such as inaccurate data collated from each province and departments, the under-reporting of crimes, and variances in the interpretation and classification of crimes, which together may have resulted in very serious and significant discrepancies.
All right, that was your eNCA lunchtime update from all angles with reporters Hloni Mthimkhulu, Bafedile Moerane and Heidi Jokos. Thank you, team. Let's leave it there for now.